back with the BioAs Symbiotic podcast for our third podcast of the food and beverage series. Joining me again is Marianne Thexton, CEO and founder of BioAs. We've spoken previously about symbiotics in food and beverage. Now, probiotics are notoriously sensitive during the manufacturing processes, and I wanted to dive into that a little bit today around some of the challenges that you face and overcome. So when getting right into it, what are some of the challenges that you've faced with probiotics, particularly in that manufacturing process?
Oh, Ian, that's a long list. And you know, really we've taken on something that on paper can't be done. But the manufacturing processes, as we've touched on in previous podcasts, are there to ensure food safety and extended shelf life in non-refrigerated conditions. So by default, those processes are designed to kill microorganisms, irrespective of whether they'd be beneficial to our gut or not. So they're very much about food safety. So the parameters around that are temperature, the length of time the product takes to be processed at high temperature, pH levels, so if it's acidic, it's more of a harsh environment. And then obviously there's other processes like carbonation and those types of processes that bring in pressure and other factors as well. And microorganisms are very sensitive to this, which is why we have these shelf-stable foods. So what we've had to do is identify, research, and work with organisms specifically that we could expose to certain environments and validate that it would survive those processes. So that's been a 5-year journey, and then we have to actually validate it in different formulations. So, for example, if someone's got collagen in a beverage, or someone's got a different product in a different application, we have to make sure that that either doesn't stimulate our organism to reproduce in the packaging, or it doesn't adversely impact the lifespan of our organism in the packaging. So we've had so many variables to work with, and now we can deliver that solution to manufacturers.
I want to touch on one variable in particular, which is temperature.
Yep.
Pasteurisation. It's there because it's designed to actually kill all the microbes, good or bad, that actually within the food processes. So talk to me a little bit around the temperature range and the ability of BioAs to withstand that and retain stability both during production and then once it's sitting on the shelf.
Yeah, so the scientific community's done a lot of study on this, on particularly the species of organisms or probiotics that we are working with here at BioAs. And there's a combination of scientific parameters, and one of the key ones is called wet heat. So there's different wet heat temperatures at which the probiotics will actually activate themselves, and then different wet heat temperatures that they will inactivate themselves or be killed effectively. And there's no predictability in the scientific world of those temperature ranges and the overlap. So this has been a challenge that we've worked through, and we've identified with our particular probiotics the temperature range in which we can predict the preservation of our organism and the stability of our organism. So they're the two critical deliverables that we focused on. So it's a very deep scientific topic, and we're happy to share that with our customers. We work closely with them so they really understand the science behind the products that they're offering to their consumers. But it's a outcome of quite a number of years of research.
Yeah, right. So I was going to ask what's different about the BioAs symbiotic ingredient, but I think you've kind of explained that in terms of what you've been able to do with the microbe in those environments, particularly around heat. Is there any other specific manufacturing requirements that you require?
No, look, what we do is we get briefs from our customers and their production team, and then our science team go through the brief and identify the different control points through that process and how we can validate the application. So we don't even have salespeople in our team. We've only got scientists, and their job is to actually support the manufacturing customers end to end, from new product development and validating stability in our laboratories through to in the factory manufacturing processes and delivering a benefit, like a successful outcome for them.
I know you mentioned that we would work closely with customers, but is it a fairly repeatable process?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once we've validated certain parameters and certain variables, that knowledge is transferable across to different customer applications. But we do like to work closely with our customers because we're absolutely committed to them having a really fantastic outcome and being able to deliver the health benefits to their consumers.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's it for today. Thanks very much, Marianne. And if there's any questions that you've got, please go to info@bioas.com.